You are listening to the Workbench After Hours podcast. This is a podcast dedicated to the Second Amendment, where we talk about firearms, everything that's going on in the gun community, and we even try a different whiskey every week. In this week's episode, we're going to talk about a new release from Springfield Armory, and if it's just another polymer pistol, or if they're trying to bring something new to the market that may or may not have already existed, but is it still something that you want to spend your money on? And while we talk about all of that, we're going to try Elijah Craig Straight Rye whiskey as the whiskey of the week. Welcome back to episode 81 of the Workbench After Hours podcast. You may recognize a new face on here. Actually, not a new face. He's actually the guy, the third guy on our thumbnail. Artwork with the mustache. Long lost Hunter Thole.
Yeah, but I was just there for the artwork. First episode.
And then after that, you shaved your mustache, so.
Yep, and now I'm a little nervous to be on because I haven't done one of these in
forever.
It's been a while.
Probably 5-6 months.
Yeah, he's been busy with his new baby.
Little kid.
Yep. And
take up a lot of your time.
And then he's just always too tired to come on.
Always
wants to try good whiskey.
Always forgets what day of the week it is.
Yeah.
You guys have changed it up so many times.
It's been Wednesdays forever.
Time used to be 7:30. Then it switched to Tuesdays for a while, and then
we found out it's nice doing 6:30 because then it's not so late when we're done.
Yeah. Then we can go and
almost drop that glass.
Well, that's what I told the old. I think that was one of the selling points to the old battle axe to let me come on was we were doing 6:30 instead of 7:30. So
there you go. Well, Chris, what are we drinking this week?
Elijah Craig Straight Rye. So it's a 94 proof. That's all I know, and it's probably going to be spicy.
I know you and I have had Elijah Craig small batch.
Yes.
Have we had it on the podcast? I don't think we have.
I don't know if we have or not.
But I saw this. I know we haven't had this.
Yeah.
We like the Elijah Craig small batch.
Yeah, small batch is really good.
We're starting to like rye, so let's try this. Man, what are you getting on the nose there, Hunter?
It smells peppery.
Mm-hmm. You smell the charcoal from the oak.
So you're supposed to get dark chocolate with spices and a hint of smoke.
I get a lot of the smoke and
I get
spice.
the smoke with the spice.
I don't.
It's almost like it's black pepper.
Yeah. I don't get the chocolate.
Yeah, I'm not picking up any chocolate. Still getting like a vanilla caramel.
Yep.
On there. Let's see what you guys get on the taste buds there. A lot of spice. Quite a bit, actually.
Yeah, maybe there's some sweetness in there too, though. Maybe vanilla.
I get a little bit of vanilla.
So
it's sweet on the front end, and you get that spice on the back.
On the back. That's right. Yeah. Initial on the tongue, it was like, well, it's kind of sweet, and then swallow, and you're like, oh, okay.
Yep.
Baking spices and honey backed up with smooth oak influence. So yeah, I mean, front end, pretty. And it's not spicy like as in, like
it's like a peppery.
Yeah, it's different than what like you get like with Jack Daniels or anything like that. Like it's baking spices kind of.
Yeah, and you get that mostly with your ryes, anyways, like that peppery spice.
It's so weird how you say honey, and then I took my second sip, and I was like, okay, yeah, honey. Yeah. It's like plants it in your mind a little bit.
Yeah, it does. That's why we try it first and then read what we're supposed to be getting, see how wrong we were. A lot of them come up with like leather and like some other stuff. I'm like, I don't
know what leather
I've never
tastes
tasted leather before. Can't say that.
Yeah, I think it's more of like the smell, because like there's a lot of cigars that
have that smell
are described of flavor as leather. I think it's like if you took a piece of like raw cut leather, like a baseball glove, and put it up to your nose. It's that type of
smell that you can kind of translate to taste.
So I probably don't have to tell you guys this, but the finish is long and lingering.
Yep.
And that is definitely true.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like that. Baking spices just stay on your tongue for.
It's
like
not
on
like
the back.
On the back end, yeah.
It's like on the back quarter of my tongue. I just have that same taste.
It's almost like a light tingling feeling almost.
Yep.
Yes. Yes.
You know?
Yeah.
Which is weird because I haven't gotten this kind of after effect with any whiskey that we've had.
No.
It's a little tingling.
If like, obviously it doesn't taste like cough syrup, but you know when you take a thing of cough syrup and you get that tingle kind of in the back of your
Yeah, that long. Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of what it's like.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
I don't hate it.
I don't hate it. I'm usually
And you
I'm
used to,
I'm growing into
I
Rise
know.
lately. So
You used to hate Rise, but now that we've been branching out, especially I think I got you with the Whistle Pig.
yeah.
That really got you into Rise, and now you're
Yeah.
liking them in.
Yeah.
What about, are you a Rye drinker? You like Rise?
I've never really drank rye straight, but my father-in-law makes a lot of his old fashions with rye.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I think that's like the typical,
That's the traditional way.
right? Because a lot of people make them with bourbon now,
Yep.
but he still uses. Oh, I'm drawing a blank on it, but he does. He has a specific rye he likes to make his old fashions with. So I've had it in that fashion, but not so much straight ever.
There you go. Well, I'm going to pass down some ice cubes, and then we'll try it on ice.
see what happens.
Yep. It's going to bring out, from what we've learned from a lot of times doing this now, is it's going to get rid of a lot of that spiciness and then bring out some more sweetness to it.
Okay.
We'll see what it does with this, because with this, it's, I mean, pretty spicy.
Yeah.
So we're going to see what that.
It might mellow it out a little bit, but not much.
Yeah, I'm not sure if there's a lot of sweetness to bring out. So that's why I'm interested to see what.
I feel like there's some sweetness hidden in there.
Yeah, in the front end. Like if you just let it sit on the tongue, it's real sweet, and then as you swallow, you get that.
I just don't
real
find any
spice.
dark chocolate.
Yeah.
No dark chocolate at all.
Yeah. I love chocolate.
Well, yeah, I mean,
Who doesn't?
that's why when my wife makes a dessert and it's like fruit, I'm like, what the hell's wrong with you? If you have a dessert, it's got to be chocolate.
I'm more of a just go for seconds guy than go for dessert.
Fair enough. Yeah, but don't you ever feel like you get a lot of saltiness with your meal, and then you got to have that something sweet afterwards? No?
Yeah.
All right.
Sometimes I do.
All the
I
time.
really don't. And it drives Jasmine nuts because she was like, let's go get some ice cream or something. I'm like, that's the last thing I want. Right
Really?
Yep.
That's happened to me after every dinner. Hey, let's go to ice cream, or let's go get some cookies, or
Yeah. Like if I have popcorn, then I'm like, all right, I've had salty. Now I need something sweet to kind of counterbalance that. Maybe that's why I'm fat.
it's effective.
You're talking to the dad bod right now.
Starting to get it.
Fattest I've been my entire life.
Well, you're a dad now, so you got to get that dad bod. You got the
But-
dad shoes.
I'm getting more distance on my drives than I've ever gotten before. So maybe there's something behind it.
Yeah, maybe. I still get that tingling a little bit from the spice.
I would say that definitely brought out sweetness.
Oh yeah, it's definitely on the front end. It's a lot sweeter.
Yeah, it really is.
So it's good.
I get more vanilla now with it.
But no dark chocolate. So
Yep.
Maybe. I don't know. Our palates just aren't that sophisticated, I guess.
Or they
Yeah,
aren't that sophisticated when
or
they did
someone
it.
was just trying to throw
Yeah.
off the readers.
Right.
Like, hey, let's throw some crazy flavor.
Let's see if they can actually test.
Man, there was that one that we tried we really liked. It was Johnny Drum.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if I have any left, but it had so much going on, and how they described it is a snowball effect of flavors.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what it was.
Yeah, it was.
Really?
It was just all these different flavors going on, and then this long finish that
Yep.
just lasted forever. And it was
It was
Man.
good, but it was just like, man, you had to take a couple of sips. Like, okay, what flavor was that one? And then the next, and then you get that long. Man,
Did you feel like it was more viscous, like it coated your tongue and stayed longer, or
I just on the yeah, probably. But the front end is weird because you get a lot of the fruit and sweetness up front, and on the back end you get that little bit of spice. So it was like, whoa, where'd that come from? Because you had so much sweet on the front end.
there you go.
well, I wish you wouldn't have drank all of it so I could have tried some.
We get some more. I've seen it locally, and it's not as
Yeah.
expensive as I
I've been
thought.
seeing it everywhere.
Because that's one I picked up in Tennessee. So, but now I saw it available. So this is the first time you've been on this new set.
Yeah, so I saw when you originally put up the tactical wall, and it was limited. You had some things up there. I really like what you ended up doing with it. It's filled out nice, but it's not
Too
cluttered.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks really nice.
Yeah, that was the because both Chris and I are indecisive, so we're like trying to figure out how to put stuff and what and where, and there were other options that we could have mounted, like a rack of like rifles and stuff, which would have worked, but
Just
we're
clutter.
limited with what can fit in the frame. of the camera. If we weren't worried about that, I probably would set it up differently.
The 31 round mags.
Don't say that on YouTube. It's hidden by my shoulder.
The
The standard capacity.
The fun
the
stick.
standard capacity with a really, really, really long, what do they call it? The grip at the bottom of it.
Like a four grip.
Yeah, foregrip. It looks awesome.
Yes.
Standing up there.
Yeah. Yeah. So there's a standard capacity AR mags on the wall too that are behind me. Not supposed to have those in YouTube videos, but hey, if my shoulder's blocking them, then they have no idea.
Yeah, they can't see that.
Exactly.
And if
Yeah.
we have to cut that part out, my bad.
No, yeah. So yeah, that's cool. And then that holster up there. Remember our episode that we did with Eclipse holsters? Yep. That's my wife's for hers, sitting up there.
I was not a dumbass this last time we went to the lake and remembered a belt, and there is nothing more satisfying than pulling a gun from a holster with ease, shooting it, and then returning it right back to the holster, and you don't have to, no buttons, no strap over the top, nothing. It's just in and out. It was awesome.
So I want to talk about, well, I want to kind of go into how you've come along with guns since you've bought that first one. But before we get into that, the main topic that I wanted to bring up, and that's probably everybody, if you follow any of the main gun channels, have gotten those initial videos of a new release from Springfield Armory. There was that initial flood of videos, like once a product is released.
Yeah, everyone gets it.
Yeah, everyone gets it, and then it's like, that's all you see on your thread is videos. But I think it's pretty cool. I myself like Springfields, so I like to see Springfield coming out with new things. My wife, that's the only gun she will shoot, is a Springfield. Well, they recently released, if you guys haven't seen it, today is July 12th, and that's when they released it, is the Echelon. And you're going to get a lot of people saying, oh, another polymer pistol, what's different? You know, because that's kind of what, we're at a weird age where there's so much competition. Everybody's coming out with a different gun every so often, it seems like. Like Glock is coming out with all these models that aren't really any different than the other ones. They're just a combination of models that doesn't make sense. So
Let's just throw them together.
yeah, Glock is kind of, I think, dropping the ball on some of the new innovations that they could be doing. Whereas I think if you're saying this is another polymer pistol, I get it, but at the same time, this is something completely different for Springfield. If you're familiar with the Sig P320s, Chris, not the 360s, they have that modular system.
Yeah.
To where the serialized part is just one.
The trigger assembly.
Yeah, and it's serialized, and so basically you just take out the, what do they call it? The innards.
It's pretty much you just take out the takedown pins, or is what I call them, and then you pull out the whole trigger assembly, and you can buy. They got kits for like a different module, so you can get different calibers. So you can buy. I don't remember.
What do they call that?
I just
part,
call
though?
it the trigger assembly, is what I call it.
Right.
Because that's all it is pretty much the trigger assembly.
They have a name for it.
Yeah.
Springfield came out with a name for theirs, but that's cool. What's cool about that is you can buy this one gun, and because that one part that you can take out and put in different frames, you only have to do one background check on that.
Yep.
And then you buy however many different frames you want, and then you have technically
Every caliber.
X amount of pistols, depending on if you want a subcompact frame versus a full frame.
Yeah, and then I think also you can change your caliber too. So usually it comes with just the probably your frame, your barrel. You can reuse the slide majority of the time unless you want to change it, and then there's just the magazines.
This is something I wish Glock would come out with.
Yeah,
You know, because how many of us have, like, you have a Glock 17, and you're wanting to get something smaller to conceal carry. How nice would it be just to take out the guts and put it in a smaller frame?
Yeah, and if it was quick and easy to do, it'd be awesome.
So as of before today, Sig was the only company that had something similar.
Yeah.
And they really did that when they submitted the, what is it, the M17 or 18 for the military?
They actually had it before that. I know my Sig P250 had that.
Okay.
And that was kind of the reason I went with that. I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. And then I was like, I couldn't find the other, like, because I wanted to make it a 40 and then have a 45. But I couldn't, they didn't sell that anymore for that gun because they just came out with the new 320.
And I like that concept. but I don't like SIGs. I know I could get some slack for that, but
Yeah.
to me, I don't like the way SIGs fit my hand.
I liked that
Right?
concept, but I didn't like the hammer. So it was a hammer.
Will you
fire
adjust my
gun.
headphone?
Oh, your headphone again.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Just hearing out the left side. Well,
Whoop, there we go.
And there we go.
So
I keep telling Chris I need to get a new adapter
Yeah.
for that, but I always forget about it until
Yeah.
we record. But
Oh.
so you like SIGs, or
Well-
do you?
I've shot several variations, a 9, a 45, and then would it be a 40?
Yep.
And I've got these long, bony skeleton fingers. And so it feels the same in my hand, I think because my fingers are long. It feels the same in my hand as the Glock grip does. So it doesn't throw me off when I'm shooting. So I've been debating on do I stick with Glock and get the 9, or do I go P365? I'm not sure. Obviously, there's a price difference.
Or there's
but
also the Hellcat too.
Yeah.
there's also the Hellcat 2. Never shot one though.
There's also the one right there.
Yeah. That
Yeah.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah. There. I mean, we'll discuss some more on what Hunter's looking for, but this new Echelon. What I've been watching all these videos that come out, and somebody actually kind of compared this to the way it's built. Not necessarily the fact that you can take out the innards and put them in different frames, but it's kind of like the big daddy to the Hellcat with the features that you get,
Okay.
which I can get on board with.
Yeah.
What, meaning like how customizable it can be?
Yeah. So I'm gonna share my screen here and pull up. So this is, if you haven't seen it already, probably by now you have, but this is the Springfield Echelon, and Springfield's been known for their XDM series for a long time now. And I love the XDM series and their platform, no matter what caliber, because I think they look badass. You get a lot for your money, and they're high capacity. Joe Biden and the ATF hate that, but I mean, my first gun was an XDM, and my go-to gun holds 19 rounds. Like, how awesome is that?
Yeah.
And it feels great. So this is what it looks like.
Looks sick.
So it does look awesome. You know, yes, it's another polymer gun, but what you get out of this gun, out of the box, you get a lot. I think MSRP is upper 600s. I think the last I saw was like 670. Probably going to be able to buy it for less places, and then there's going to be sales, and then the more this is on the market, I think price will go down. So somewhere in the sixes, which isn't bad because the XDMs, you're upper fives generally for those, and for a good handgun, I mean that's kind of what you expect. But striker fired, which is awesome, and then just the fact that they have the. So if you ever take a gun, like say a Glock or just a regular XD, and you want to take it to a custom gunsmith and say, I want to customize this gun, what do? They're going to do a bunch of slide serrations and a bunch of stippling. They're going to do probably an RMR cut if you don't have one, and sights and all this stuff.
Maybe trigger.
Look at what this gun already comes as.
Yeah.
It looks like it's a custom gun.
Yeah, it does.
So it has some nice aggressive slide cuts and serrations, and you got these pigtail ears at the back there that aid in pulling the slide back for doing checks and stuff like that. But
The stippling on it.
one cool thing is the stippling. Anywhere on the frame you could put stippling, they put stippling. So obviously you have it everywhere on the grip. You even have it on the base plate of the magazine. You have it on the mag release. You have it where you put your index finger where it's not on the trigger. You have it in the front and bottom of the trigger guard. You even have it on the guide rod underneath the barrel there.
Oh, I didn't even notice that.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And I don't know if they have a picture of it, but there's also a little bit of stippling on the back of the slide.
Huh.
Like just right where the striker is.
Yeah.
They have it there.
So you get grip everywhere.
Everywhere. And that's what when you do a custom stippling job from a company, they're going to do this. So you're already getting that custom grip everywhere. And I don't know about you, Chris, but to me, just looking at it, that kind of looks like the Smith & Wesson 2.0.
Yeah. It also looks like that in the Hellcat Pro
Yes.
a lot.
So this is, I mean, to me,
Yeah.
the daddy to the
Yeah,
Hellcat
yeah.
Pro.
Yeah.
And you also get a slide cut, and you don't have to have base plates. A lot of the the Canics that we have come with different
Base plates. So
base plates.
for different RMR cuts.
Yes. This will fit 30 different red dot sights. So pretty much any of the popular ones out there will fit without having to get any adapters. You don't have this high-rise weird red dot that you have to co-witness. It'll sit right in the slide, and you'll be able to co-witness any one that you have. And they come with a few different options as far as sights go. You can get one with just regular sights, night sights, or suppressor height sights.
Oh,
So
wow.
they give you different options.
What's the caliber?
So right now it's just a 9,
Okay.
but we can expect more to come.
Yeah, I'm sure they'll probably start coming out there. What Sig did
Yep.
was like, I don't remember what they called it. They called it something crazy. Like, I can't remember. I'd have to look it back up, but it's like a pretty much little kit, and you just swap everything out. You're ready to go with the next one.
Well, I might not be getting a concealed and carry. I might just
Right?
get
I kind of want to get
full-size
one of these.
pistol.
This was so the teaser, because I didn't know they were coming out with this, and then they came out with a picture similar to this one on here, but there was like an in kind of by this sword here, and it said coming July 12th. I'm like, what is that going to be? Like, I thought immediately with this, I thought like dagger, like something.
Oh, yeah.
Like what are they doing? And then you see you get like the fighter just back here in the background and stuff like that. I'm like, it gave no hint to what they were coming out with.
Yeah.
And turns out it was the Echelon right here. And this is what separates it from most any other, polymer pistol that you're
Yeah.
seeing. What they call the COG, or their central operating group. And this is the heart of the gun, the serialized part that will come out, and you can put it in different frames, which is, I think, awesome.
I think there's a reason why they're doing this.
Yeah,
Like,
because the ATF hates it.
yeah, well, that, and then how do you know what people really got at that point? You got your, what they call their central firing group or whatever. That's the only thing that's serialized. So you really don't know what caliber gun people have got now, too. And people, they can't really limit you to what they want as a 10
and
round.
it shouldn't matter. Like, if you can buy just this part,
Yeah.
and then, because with SIG, you can buy this,
Yep.
and then build your gun to how you want it. That's all you need.
Yep.
Like, why should the ATF or anybody know, oh, well, he's got this frame for it, this
Yeah,
frame.
I guarantee you they see something down the road that we don't,
Yep.
and they're getting ahead of that. And then I think that's why SIG probably did it back in the day, and now they're doing it.
And I'm surprised because I love Springfields. I'm glad they came out with this.
Yeah.
But this is something I wish Glock
Yeah.
would come out with.
Yeah.
And Keith, remind me again, what's a polymerized? What is that?
So a polymer pistol, it's just like your Glocks. The frame is plastic.
Yeah.
Polymer.
Oh, okay.
It's polymer
And then the
plastic.
slide is the steel.
Yeah.
Yep.
So like back in the day before Glock came out with that, all guns were metal or steel, so they were super heavy.
All the way through. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. There are companies that are coming out with, like Canic just came out with that all steel gun
Yeah.
that we have, that competition series, one that's in polymer, but they also make an all steel. Smith & Wesson is making an all steel version of this gun right here behind us. And that's because polymer has been around for so long, and everybody's got kind of sick of it. So they're kind of bringing back some of the all metal guns.
I think they need to start doing like carbon.
Just
forged
getting a little
carbon.
old school on it.
Yeah. A carbon gun.
Yeah. I mean, it's just as strong as a polymer, and they're pretty freaking sweet.
Yeah. I mean,
Make an all carbon, like forged carbon or dry carbon, and you can still put like different color in it too.
price would go up though, right? Because isn't carbon more expensive than just regular
It
polymer?
kind of is, but if you're doing like high production of it, I'm sure it goes down.
A carbon frame pistol.
Yeah.
Let us know your guys' thoughts down in the comments on
Yeah,
that.
I think it'd be dope.
But yeah, so this is basically what you buy.
Yeah.
So if you buy this setup, all they have right now is a 4.5-inch full frame one. But then you buy this, and then once they come out with more options, which they're going to, take this out, drop it in a different frame, and you're good to go. So this is basically their self-contained serialized group that's allowing it to be easily moved between grip modules in just seconds. And it's built from stainless steel, and it's basically a chassis. That's the term I was looking for when we were talking about SIG, is the chassis. And it's basically this, according to the ATF, this is what a pistol is.
That looks just like my SIG did, kind of, besides having a hammer bar.
I like the fact, but SIG was all silver, right?
No, it wasn't all silver.
I like the look of that.
Yeah.
It looks badass.
That's such a
I wonder
such a good idea, though.
Yeah.
Like,
Right?
Hey,
They called them modular like frame kits you could buy. I think SIG called it.
this is what's serialized. This is what's attached to your name, but
Yeah.
you can drop it into any
Any module frame you want.
that you want. You can shoot different, whatever you want to do with it. That's
Yeah.
so smart.
Like if you had Glock 17, say the Glock 17 had something like this, yeah, cool. You want that for home defense, but if you wanted to take it to carry with you, then you drop it into a smaller frame,
Yep.
and then you can carry it with you easily versus that. So right now, this is
I wonder how much their other kits are going to cost, because I think that's where SIG kind of
drop the ball.
dropped the ball, because you bought your gun and it was like $400 or $500, but for you to buy like the modular frame kit for like the next caliber, it was like $450. So I was like, really, you're spending all this money just for a modular, the frame, magazine, and a barrel?
Hey, real quick before I forget. So, a guy, when we went shooting, he had a Glock 19. It was a Glock 19. The slide and all that stuff was the length of a 19, but the handle was 17.
So was it?
Is that just a Glock 19 like XL or whatever?
So there's another model that they just came out with, a 47.
Yeah, I think so.
So what color was it? Was it like that?
Yeah.
So yeah, that was probably the Glock 19X.
Okay.
That was what they submitted to the military for their new service pistol, and
so it's a shorter barrel, but it's got the same grip as a 17.
Yeah. So it's basically a Glock 19, which is the same size as that dagger right there. So it's a Glock 19 slide, which is a little bit shorter than a full size, and then you have your grip off the Glock 17, which is bigger and longer. Mm-hmm. So yeah, it's kind of a combination of both.
It was kind of fun though, because when I put the when I reduced the poundage for the trigger pull, getting to shoot that and then getting to shoot his, which was the standard 5, and then going back to my 3.5, it
Huge
is
difference.
so. Because when I switched it out, I'd only shot my 17 once, but then getting to go mine, then his, then back to mine, it was like, it is a crazy difference. So that was pretty cool to do.
And it's cool of Glock to kind of mix and match, but at the same time, it's like, okay, how many times can you do this?
Yeah.
Until it's like, do we really need that?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Whereas Springfield's like, we have the XDM. Everybody, it's a great line.
Yeah.
Let's do something different.
I really hope they make it better than how SIG did, because I don't get how SIG was charging so much for a modular kit.
And here's let me pull this picture back up. So this is kind of your options. So like most polymer guns now, you get different back straps depending on your palm. But then you have 3 different grip sizes. This is going to change once this is in production. So right now you got these 3 different grip sizes that you can go to. And look at that. Here's a close-up of that texture. It's
awesome.
And then you have the trigger guard is oversized if you're wearing gloves. I heard the trigger is fairly good. It's better than like a Glock trigger.
Yeah.
It's got an ambidextrous mag release. And just look at all these. Everywhere you could put texturing,
It's got it.
they got it. So they thought ahead, which is awesome. And just like the XDM series, you got a standard 17 round and then the extended 20 round. So,
Do you think people make mistakes on accident dropping the magazine when they have the ambidextrous mag release?
I don't think so.
I think it's more your preference, really.
And here's a kind of comparison with the red dot, how you can co-witness.
Yeah,
because you don't have to have those plates to where it raises or whatever. It's easy to co-witness the red dot. So see there, Hunter, how the red dot's just above the regular sights.
Right.
Oh, that's so nice.
You don't have to. You don't have to
overcompensate.
You're right.
Yep. Hammer forged barrel, which we're pretty, accustomed to now. But they also make one with threaded barrel, so that's an option too if you have a suppressor in our free states. So these are the 3 or 4 options. I'm going to go with 3 because one of them is state compliant, and well, we're not even going to talk about that because that's not America. But then, so here are basically the 3 free state ones that we have. You have and what the difference is, see, they put low capacity. They even say low capacity for those states that don't allow it. But you have the tritium night sights. Then you have one with the threaded barrel with the tritium, and then you also have one with the standard sights. They're going to come out with one with suppressor height sights at some point. But as of right now, they just have those 3 grip sizes right here. We can expect them to come out with more.
You know what would be interesting and I would want to see is if you can pull out their central group and put it in a Sig frame.
I don't think so.
It looks identical.
Yeah, but I think where your pins are and everything like that's going to be different.
That's what I would want to see, like how far off are they, or if they're pretty close. Because I wonder if Sig, the reason why they came out with that is that patent went out and they didn't renew, So then, hey, they got into it.
Do you think it takes Glock mags? No.
Well, how long ago did they come out with it? Because patents only last for...
Yeah, the Sig, it's been out for a while, like early 2000s that I know of.
Oh, okay. Well, patents run out, and then...
That might be why this is coming out.
Yeah. So how do you measure...
You'd have to get a micrometer or something.
What grip that you want?
It depends on your hand. So
Right, obviously. But, I mean, how do you measure... How would you measure to figure out which size of grip you want?
It's probably whatever you feel comfortable with.
You'd have to go test them out and feel several different ones?
Probably. So right now, this gun that just got released is only with the 4.5-inch barrel. So pretty much a full-size frame. The grip sizes are vary depending on the size of the hand. So they have like a thin one up to a thicker one depending on... So if you're somebody with a smaller hand, you might want to get the smaller one, or somebody with big hands, then
but
and then add these back straps to it. But as far as
that's all
knowing which one to get,
exactly, that's what I was.
You got to go try them out.
So what if your neighbor sells guns?
I think he's probably gonna get one of these and say Hellcat Pro, maybe. No.
Yeah, but how do you?
He just has to buy all 3.
You don't get it. You don't get to feel all 3 sizes just to see what fits your hand best. So, like, do they have some sort of measurement? Like when you buy clothes, they're like, "All right, what's your shoulder width? What's your torso?"
I think one good way to go is your size. So you're 6'1".
Mm-hmm.
So probably bigger hands. So you probably don't want the small. So you're probably going to go medium or large.
Mm-hmm.
So you'd probably
just go with your glove size.
Yeah.
Well, like I said, we've got these creepy skeleton fingers, and they're long as shit.
So but also, you think if you get the largest one, that's meant for somebody with big hands, but with also fat fingers, probably. So maybe the medium might be better for you. Yeah, you got longer fingers, but not fat hands, I guess you could say. Or if you're somebody like Trump, who's been known to have small hands, maybe you want the small frame.
I mean, I've tried to bulk my fingers up; it just doesn't work. So
right?
I guess I'm going with
rubber band
medium
tools.
No, I have but that's all forearm. You can't. There's no way to strengthen your fingers.
There isn't.
There is.
But
basketball.
I worked at UPS. I was literally holding boxes by the tips of my fingers all day. I didn't gain a millimeter on the circumference of my fingers.
Yeah, I don't think you can do that with your fingers. But so right now you're just stuck with those, but they're going to come out with obviously different calibers. Frames are going to come out with probably different colors. I'm sure flat dark earth, OD green is going to be one.
I'm sure.
Yeah. So this is what we're stuck with now, but this just got released, so they're gonna release. And one thing about this, so the Czech Republic, there's I forget what the company's called, but they it's not just American. The Czech Republic company had a lot to do with designing this gun because Springfield didn't want to do probably what Glock does and just wants to come out with something new, so they come out and don't do a whole lot of testing. They did a lot of testing and design and thought about everything.
Do you have a Sig here?
I don't, because I don't like SIGs.
Arcanics? Are those?
Those are Turkish.
Oh, okay.
Because I was going to see if you had
I got
one.
two downstairs.
I was going to say if you had one, I'd want you to buy one of those and we can just try.
Oh, I got to buy it.
Yeah. I just want to see because I mean, it's just looking at that, it looks
I
really
want to buy this.
Yeah, it looks really familiar to like the Sig. And that's where I'm wondering.
Unfortunately, it's allocated and probably going to be for a while because it just came out.
Yeah. So you're not going to get it for a year.
So because I'm not a big YouTuber or a big company, I
Well,
gotta
why
wait.
not?
Well, hit that subscribe button and maybe we'll.
Yeah, people, hit that subscribe button.
Yeah.
Also, just know if you go on a gun podcast and you're not a gun guy, expect to go with the gun guys one time while you own your gun and then go 4 more times when you're not on the podcast.
So the funny thing is, you've shot a gun more than we have in the past year.
Mm-hmm.
How does that make sense?
I think in the last month, I've sent at least over 1,000 rounds through the 17.
Wow, nice.
Yeah, we're supposed to go to the range and
See,
test
but
a dagger
the difference
and a
between us and
19.
you is you have a father-in-law with property that you can do that on. We don't.
Yeah, but
thanks for the
you're the gun guy.
Yeah, I can get you what you want, but I don't have a place for you to shoot it.
Triple up on your hearing protection. Go to indoor range.
Ugh.
Do
They're
the
not very fun.
do
You've
the
been there.
orange, then do your standard headphones, then buy extra larges. Put those over the top.
Could you imagine my 6'5" inside the range?
Brian's got I don't the AR the larger round,
one?
308.
whatever it is. He was shooting in there. You could like feel it in your chest while you were shooting.
Well, remember when we were shooting outdoors and he was shooting that one and we're back there and we're like, Jesus, we felt that concussion.
from behind, which was crazy because from the sides you couldn't feel it at all, but from behind you could.
So he's saying like if he were to shoot that indoors in that little bay.
People would be like, I'm mad at me.
Yeah. That's why it's better to shoot outdoors.
Yeah.
So if you ever invite us down to the lake, we'll bring an arsenal.
Yeah.
We'll bring a drone. We got GoPros. We got a bunch of footage we can do.
Give me a few years. I'm still building up equity with the in-laws. And once I've done enough shit for them, I'm going to be like, all right, bring my boys down. We're going to go shooting. Oh, we did shoot some tannerite, though.
Yeah.
And so it was half a scoop per pound. And Bryant thought that the containers were 1 pound, but they were really 2 pound. So we put a half scoop in the first one, and it was the weakest explosion ever. We did 2 scoops in the second one, shot it, pretty decent explosion. So then when I looked at it and I saw, okay, this is 2 pounds of whatever the white dots are, I was like, we need to be putting 4 scoops in here. We started doing that. That shit's crazy. You shoot it and that concussion you feel in your, it feels like it flexes your, I don't know what it is, if it sucks oxygen out or whatever it is that gives you that like
It's that, what are
pressure. I know
that-
it's a pressure, but we were standing far enough away where I doubt, I don't know what it was, but it was, they were getting crazy. We were like stacking cinder blocks on top of it and shooting it. It was just fucking
And that's
going,
just like
boom.
a control of, imagine like being somewhere where a bomb goes off. Like that force is gonna,
Yeah.
Yeah. If you're closer to it, because we were pretty far off and we were shooting the AR at it because it has to have a certain velocity to trigger it. And first couple times we're like, it's weak as shit. And then we put a little more in and said closer, and we're like, okay, now we understand why you got to stand further back. And then when we started mixing it properly, we were staying far enough back, but you still feel that cocoon.
Did you watch that movie with Jeremy Renner where he was the bomb guy?
Oh, I know what you're
He
talking
was the bomb guy.
Yeah, he was. He'd
He
go.
had bombs in
no,
him.
he would defuse the bombs.
Oh,
So he was in the military.
Sandbox?
No, it was. God, I'm drawing a blank on the movie. I've seen it so many times. But he
Jarhead.
no, but he would go and defuse, IEDs because but they would wear these big ass suits and stuff like that, and one of them got detonated prematurely. The guy was not close to it, but that pressure that I forgot what that wave is called.
Oh man,
It's not a concussion, but it's
I mean, it is a concussion wave. But it's not
but it ended up killing him just because the pressure of that like fucked his insides up, and he had this helmet on, and it just blood everywhere.
Well, like, so if you're playing paintball, they suggest that you wear the chest guard.
Yeah.
Because in the rare occasion that it has to hit a very specific spot on your chest, but if it catches it in between heartbeats, it'll just stop your heart. So if a paintball can do that to you, imagine an explosion.
Yeah.
Your internals will just be
Something I've never done is played paintball.
Really?
Really?
Let's go.
I'll go.
There's one it's right
another-
outside of Lawrence. It's cool as shit. They got like a bunch of like pallet barriers.
There's also one
and
downtown in the
plywood
caves.
houses and stuff like that. And it's you either play like capture the flag. There's some game that you're playing, but it's so much fun.
Like, you don't have these freaking little kids on Call of Duty with their controllers. It's like, this is
Talking
real
smack.
life.
Have you ever seen like some of those airsoft wars people do?
Huh?
Oh my gosh, it looks like full-fledged. People are full tactical gear.
Well, we were just bare bones in college
I know
having wars in our house.
There's a guy, he does sniping, and he's like in a full suit, ghillie suit, sitting there, and he's got a GoPro on it. And he's sitting there hitting people from distance. They're like, where's he at?
So with paintball, is it if you get hit once, then you're out? Mm-hmm. That seems so boring.
Yeah, but the rounds go so quick, you can play multiple rounds in an hour.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not like the game lasts.
Well,
an hour.
it's
they have you in such close quarters that the game can't go longer than like 15
But
minutes.
it's also like in real life. Well, at least in the movies. Oh, you got me in my shoulder up here. I could still like.
I can still shoot.
Yeah. I mean, can you do something like that to where it's like, okay, if that wasn't a life-threatening injury.
How do you know it's not a ricochet?
the hardest part is
Try to prove that.
people lie.
Yeah.
They lie. Oh, this paint on it hit the wall next to me, and that's what this. That's why they do.
I think you'd be able to tell though, at that point, if it's a splatter.
I mean, I'm sure
versus a direct hit.
I'm
but
sure
again,
you could,
though,
but they also
if you
have.
get caught up here in your shoulder, or say like maybe your foot, if you get shot in your foot, you're still going to be able to sit there and like.
They also have kids who are in high school who are the referees. So I mean,
What's stopping us from hitting a referee?
What do you?
You are blind.
I'm
You
like,
don't know
listen
what
here.
after.
I'm like, listen here, kid. We're adults here. We're gonna do what we want to.
Boom.
Unless you get a kill shot in the head or like the chest, we're going.
But the funnest shit's like capture the flag. It's dead center. Everybody rushes for it. Like the way we played it, you had two guys try and flank, and then you'd alternate being the fucking
Guinea pig.
guinea pig. Like two guys would rush out and get shot while one guy could sprint, grab the flag, and start running it back. Or
Do you
vice
have
versa.
to have gear and stuff, or can you just go?
Oh, you can rent everything there.
Because I don't have
Yeah.
anything.
It's fun as shit. The hard part is, though, because the barrels aren't rifled, it's like shooting a musket.
Right.
That shit comes out like a knuckleball. It's just fucking flying crazy through the
Spray and
air.
pray, baby.
Yeah. I mean, then the guys who play like pro or whatever,
Oh, you can get some serious.
they do, but you're spending serious money to get that type
Yeah.
of setup. Most of it's just
But how cool would it be to have that badass setup against those high school refs? Like, yeah, what's up?
fucking hitting. They're not looking. You hit one in the back of the head just for fun and just keep going. No, but that's fun. And then airsoft is always fun because you don't need as much gear. I know you guys played in college, but
We didn't have any gear, and Chris
you
broke
guys are so much
I
older
did
than
TV.
me.
You did.
I didn't break the TV.
There's Joe.
You know those old TVs, like
The projector screens.
they were like the big box ones. Like if you had one,
Yeah.
you were badass back in the day.
Yeah.
we had.
We
one.
had one of those.
I just helped Austin move one of those heavy motherfuckers
Oh yeah.
out of his, because he just bought a new house, out of his basement up to the dumpster that they had put in the
Believe
driveway.
it or not, those things were awesome. And if you had one back in the day, you were living
That's-
life
yeah.
large.
And Chris broke it.
No.
Because on the front of them is like this like plastic piece that covers the screen.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Chris decided to hide in front
No,
of
that was
this
Joe.
TV. Somebody decided to hide in
It
front of
was
the
Joe,
TV.
'cause-
And then it got shot with an airsoft BB. And
It cracked in 3 different spots.
yeah.
You just aged yourself by like 20 years by calling it an air BB.
Well, the crazy thing
By
was
an air
no
BB.
one noticed it for how long? It was like 3-4 months before
Yeah.
they noticed. And
Yeah. But I mean, we had the cool college house because that was before the flat screens came in and were
Yeah.
cool. So we had this big ass TV.
we partied every
We
night.
totally never watched porn on there.
Nope.
And
Circle jerk.
no.
So while you guys were in college, I
Here
was
he is. Mike handling the
Yep.
game.
So while you guys were in college, I was probably in middle school.
If that.
And
All right, so that mic you cannot handle without it picking up noise. Just saying.
well, then why did you give it to me?
Because it's been so long since you've been on. That mic has
Yep.
been on that for like since we've had this setup.
Yep.
So, anyways, airsoft was the whole, like, it was the thing when we were in middle school. And our moms would make us wear safety glasses, but that was it. And my neighborhood was like a huge, like, oval. It was almost like a racetrack, houses on the outside, but it was, I think it was a mile long from, if you ran on the sidewalk all the way around. So houses on that, but there was no fences. And everybody had kids, so we would play through the middle of all the backyards in the center of the oval.
See, we would do that for like capture the flag, but we had fences.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just tall enough I could hurdle them. So we'd play capture the flag at night, and I just run back there and start hurdling fences and be the distraction.
So that's awesome. But we didn't have fences, and we'd have these airsoft wars in the through the middle. And a lot of times we'd play, like in the summer we were doing other shit, riding bikes, whatever. It was always seemed like when it was like fall, when it was getting cold. And my number one move, I don't care how many times I got shot, if I got out early or whatever, I was aiming for a kid's hand
Yep.
in the cold, and he was taking an airsoft BB to the finger.
That's not gonna feel good at all.
Yeah. I didn't give a fuck if I got out. If I could get one person in the knuckle, made my day.
I used to do that to Joe a lot.
Yeah, him and Joe got in a physical fight over a airsoft gun.
I'm sitting there trying to take a shit, right? And you know the little crack underneath, like right there? He was sitting there with an airsoft gun firing at me as I'm trying to take a shit, and I'm getting pelted in the face this entire time.
They're
They were
ricocheting
ricocheting off,
properly.
hitting the wall, and hitting me like right in the face. And I was
So
getting
put a
pissed.
towel down.
He's taking a shit.
Do you take it down and put it in front of the thing?
Was a towel in reach?
No.
There's a lot of questions in that.
No.
Keith.
Well, okay, in this bathroom over here, there's a towel in reach if you're sitting on a
Well,
toilet, right?
We didn't really have that in reach back in
You
college.
guys were in college.
Yeah, okay, fine.
You guys were drying off with paper towels.
Yeah.
What the fuck are you talking about?
Air drying. God. Letting it hang.
So Chris was getting mad because he was getting hit with airsoft.
Did you come out swinging?
I was like, stop. And he didn't. And then I got out, went to my room, and he kept still like shooting me. And I'm like, motherfucker, I'm done. And he threw his gun down, and I just went, and we just, yeah.
Who won?
So
We had to get broken
I
up.
was gonna let this play out because I'm that guy. I was like, because I'm like, well, Chris is in the Navy or was going to the
Yeah,
Navy,
I was sober and Joe was drunk.
and Joe is taller than Chris though,
Yeah, not
but
by
skinny.
much.
But he weighs $120 soaking wet.
Chris used to be, you
Yeah.
know, we were all
Like
smaller
160.
back then. So they're in the hallway, and they're not really like, I mean, no punches were thrown, but it's one of those like where you had them in a chokehold against the wall, and then you're just kind of like doing this thing. So nobody was throwing punches, but Chris had Joe, or somebody had somebody up against
I
the wall.
had Joe up against the wall, and then Gallagher was like, "You guys need to
Gilligan.
stop." Or Gilligan.
Yeah, I'm like, motherfucker, let them. You got to let them
Did
take
you
it
just
out
call
of the
your
wall.
roommate Gallagher?
yeah.
His name was Gilligan.
Gilligan.
Must not be that important to you
Right.
because you just called him
Yeah,
Gallagher.
yeah. But I'm like, man, and because he ran up and was like, all right, bring it up. I'm like, man, you got to let him let him get it out a little bit. Like, come on, let this play out. But no, and then
You got to let buddies swing at each other sometimes.
but there were no swinging, so I'm like, as long as no punches are being thrown, fucking, you're good. Like, wrestle it out.
No. Punches can be thrown. It can't be someone knocks someone to the ground and then gets on top of them and keeps swinging.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
But if someone gets clocked and they deserve to be clocked, that's just
I literally just had him pinned up against the wall.
yeah, and that's it. And I'm like, I was gonna let it play out, but Gil,
You were
broke it up.
always the
Instigator.
do it. Come on. Come
yeah.
on. Who's going to throw the first punch? Throw it.
he still is.
He still does that. Even when I came back on like leave, he's like, "Who wants to wrestle?" And like, he'd be the one to do it. I'll wrestle you. No, I don't want to wrestle. Who wants to wrestle?
Call me Joe Rogan.
Yeah, pretty much.
It'll be like
he had me and Micah go at it that one time.
Yeah.
there'll be like weeks where I mow, don't bag, and then I mow again later, and then he'll come out and be like, "Finally, you lazy piece of shit! Finally mowing your lawn." I'm just like, this motherfucker. I want to kill it.
I need some entertainment somehow.
Yeah.
Well, come hang out with my son.
But didn't Joe, was it that same night or a different night where he shot his now wife in the face?
I think it was the
with
same night.
airsoft?
I think it was the same night.
Joe was drunk,
Yeah.
and his girlfriend at the time, who is his now wife, he shot in the face with an airsoft gun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's love. To marry someone who shot you in the face
So
with
we-
an airsoft gun.
And then, of course, like, the three of us would have airsoft wars with just these pistols, right, throughout the house. And then you get the shit BBs everywhere, and then you got holes in your blinds. Well, our buddies would get kind of mad at us. But then one day they came home, and we were playing, and then one of them pulled out a fucking shotgun.
Yeah.
Like, not a real shotgun, but
Like
an
an airsoft shotgun.
airsoft shotgun.
But it gives you more distance.
And we're like, what the shit?
Yeah.
And so we were like, oh, boy. It's
Okay.
on.
So I went and bought a full M16 electric powered one.
So that's fun and all until when you're playing Airsoft Wars and the rich kid's parents buy the kid the one that takes the CO2.
The gas powered ones.
Yep.
Yeah, those
So
things are.
Ooh, yeah.
It's still shooting airsoft BBs, but it shoots a hell of a lot faster and a hell of a lot harder.
Well,
Yeah.
luckily, none of us had rich parents back
Yeah.
then, so we bought our own stuff.
Yeah.
We all had you had to
The
pull
spring.
the slide every single time
Yep,
before you
the
shoot.
spring.
And this
Yep.
kid's coming out with a semi-automatic fucking gas powered.
That's when you just throw your pistol at him.
That's when you tackle him and take his gun.
That's when you start throwing punches,
Yeah.
He didn't have too many friends, so I don't feel so bad.
right? Right. So you've had the Glock. So your main gun has been the Glock 17 for a while now, and you said you put probably over 1,000 rounds in it now, and now you are looking for.
More than that.
Okay, fair enough.
1,000 rounds in the last two times I
all
went
right.
out.
Must be nice.
Jeez.
So you're
Let's
looking
see.
for
I
something
bought
different
it
now,
from
though.
you. We bought the house in 2020.
Didn't shoot it till like 2021.
No, I bought it from him in 2020. When
Right after Zoe died.
did old Zoe die?
20.
Early though. It was cold out. I remember walking to your house.
It's
by the
before we
ground.
got married, so it was like
Yep.
20. Yeah, during the pandemic.
Yep.
But so you've had it for a few years now.
Love it. Only gotten more accurate with it, which I like because I've got the sighting figured out. how I personally like to look down the iron sights. I've got it figured out, which makes me want to stick with Glock, but I also just kind of want a little bit of variety.
Which this new
Would give
Springfield
you-
offering looks pretty badass.
Yeah, but that's a full size pistol,
Right.
isn't it?
And you're looking for a concealed carry now, right?
Concealed carry or something I can just have in the car that's not taking up a bunch of space. And
And you're looking at Sig 365. You've seen the Hellcat though. Have you seen the Hellcat Pro? I think you have.
yeah, I think I was on the
I think I've
podcast.
sold all of mine so far, but
I think I was on the podcast when you had the Hellcat Pro, I believe.
that one's pretty sweet.
Mm-hmm.
Then you got the so many options now, though.
Because Austin's got the Hellcat.
I like the Pro just because it's bigger.
Yeah.
Right. But I've held the Hellcat a lot.
But if you like the Sig, I mean, nothing wrong with the Sig. They did
Nope.
have some issues initially.
That was with the P320 though.
No, 365 had some issues too.
Did it?
Yeah.
I know the 320 had a lot of issues with like if you dropped it, it would miss like fire.
And that's one thing that Springfield did with this gun is they made sure that they didn't have that issue,
Yeah.
which was really cool.
But I don't know what I want to buy.
Well,
I'm in a
buy
conundrum.
multiple. Buy multiple.
Yeah. Coming from my gun dealer.
Hey,
Buy
your wife's a
multiple.
doctor.
just like-
there you go.
Just like drugs, right?
Yeah.
I want more. You got to get more, right?
My wife's a doctor. Buy more. You know the last thing she wants me to buy?
No.
think
That is
I'm gonna
not
get-
true. That is not true. The last thing she wants you to buy is a motorcycle.
Okay, that is true.
I'm like, Hunter, buy a motorcycle. We'll go ride together. And he's like, hell yeah. And she's like, you will not.
My whole life, I wanted one when I was like from 16 to whatever until I met Jasmine and I wanted a motorcycle. Mom's like, not if you're living under my roof. Not if
You're not living
fall
on
in
your
love
mom's
with the
roof.
girl, marry her the entire time. You're not getting a motorcycle. What are you, an idiot? Only thing I
her
can
dad had
do
one.
Yeah.
is buy a
Motorcycle.
storage unit, drive there. Keith follows me on his motorcycle. I pull it out of the storage unit. We go for a ride, drive back to the storage unit.
Why don't you just keep it at Keith's house and just say, look what Keith bought?
Because she'd be next door seeing him ride off with it.
And she's
Not
all,
if he rolls it out and rolls down it. Then she won't hear it.
also
She's probably got a tracker on his phone. or something.
she's smart enough to figure out if there was
She
an
keeps tabs on him.
yeah.
She knows when he's sneaking over here, or used to anyway.
Yeah.
It's so annoying. Your guys' wives are. You guys were like on the cusp of the technology, so they don't grasp it. They don't want to do all.
Oh,
stuff.
they grasp it.
My wife grew up with all technology, so she's like, I'm tracking this motherfucker all the time. And you know what I say to that? I'm gonna get the people's elbow.
Yeah, okay. Jasmine, can I please go on the podcast tonight?
No, I said, hey, Jazzy, I plan on going on the podcast tonight. And she said, oh, okay. If you really want to. And I tried to text Keith in a way that explained how she said it, but there's no way to text that, you know. But I was trying to let Keith know she was
There's a
not
GIF,
okay.
I'm sure, for it.
She was not okay with it. But I texted him. I said, technically, she said yes. So I'll be over.
She said yes, but I'm going to pay for it later.
But
He's literally next door for an hour. That's it.
it's just tough because, I mean, Chris, I'm sure you remember the stage where you get them fed, get them wiped off, bath time. They get that last little burst of energy right before they go to bed. It's a lot to handle right before you put them to sleep. And I do feel guilty just leaving her there.
Melatonin does wonders.
Well, let's rub a little whiskey underneath his
Yep.
lip there and
I'll
slip
go to
like a
sleep
baby.
Like a baby.
Granted, he is a baby, but still, he'll slip like he.
I saw this meme the other day. It said, why do people say sleep like a baby? You mean wake up every 2 hours with the with a diaper full
Right.
of shit and piss and scream crying.
Have someone else take care of you. That's why.
Yep.
But I am pumped. He's about to walk. 9 months. 9 months, 2 days ago. And he's already about to walk. And I'm like,
See,
fucking-
you say that, but then once you realize, then you gotta like completely child-proof your house now and watch what you put. All those cactus that you have inside, gotta go.
Yeah.
we've already got all those out. But I'm thinking
Tables.
I'm thinking long term. I'm thinking, all right.
My
this
niece was
kid's
over
getting
here for
some-
my niece was over here for
for the
4th of July. She stuck a fork in the outlet.
Yeah.
Because my wife and I don't have kids, so our house isn't childproof. Thank God it was a plastic fork. But she was going
Straight up.
to put it in the outlet. Luckily, my sister caught her and was like, whoa, whoa.
Well, Jasmine's already got plastic plugs in any outlet that's not being used. But all I'm thinking is
You got to start watching your drinks. 'cause
this
they'll
kid's
scrap it.
gonna be an athlete. Let's get him going. Come on. I'm trying to up the protein.
He's already got more hair than all of us.
When he's laying on his back, I let him press my hand. I slowly, give him some resistance, and then I push him. I'm gonna get this kid ready to rock. I have been looking at a more reasonably priced
Option.
option. It's the Acura XTL,
Yeah, they're
the sports.
I looked at those, but for that price range, I was like, I can buy a slightly used BMW M3, M4, M5.
Never owned a new car in my life. I'd like to own one. So stop destroying my dreams right now.
I think you should do
I would
it.
tell you this.
I don't know what it looks like, but I think you should do it.
Google it real quick.
I will tell you this. As soon as you buy a brand new car, you lose like a quarter of its value.
Who cares? As long as you have fun. I bought a brand new bike. I don't care what it depreciated as.
No, but you didn't have fun when you had that broken piston.
It was under warranty, though.
Yeah, but you were pissed off about it.
It could happen to anybody.
Yeah, but still.
There's nothing better than buying a car new, being the only one to have ever driven it,
It is, but
and then you get that new car smell for however long it'll last.
I don't know how long we've owned the Volkswagen, but every time I get in there, it is still a brand new car smell. So I am debating on trading my car in and getting something else, or do I just tint the windows and ride this fucker to the ground?
That's what he's gonna do.
probably.
Well, because it's essentially got a brand new engine in it.
Yeah.
I mean, the chassis got 130,000 miles on it, but the new engine only has 5,000 miles on it.
True.
So
I
what?
think you
run
should
it
buy
to
a
the ground.
motorcycle.
What to do? I do too.
Run it to
Yeah.
the ground till it
I
blows
do
up.
too.
Run it to the
Keith?
ground till it blows up. And then buy yourself a motorcycle and a car. Do like
We
a
might not
patch.
be neighbors by then because they're gonna buy a new big house.
Oh, Jasmine's initial timeline of how long we were going to stay in this house has shrunk by 2/3. I'm like, nope. We are.
But guess what, buddy? She wears the pants.
Guess what, buddy? I have a strong veto in whatever she says. And what's the point of us putting all this work into this house if we're going to move out of it right away? So stupid.
Yeah.
Houses are just going to go
She's
up
trying
in
to
price.
she's trying to get me as far. She's already been working on it. She's trying to get me as far away from Keith as absolutely
I know
possible.
we don't hang out like we used to. Hunter used to come over and we'd stay up out in the garage drinking until 4 o'clock in the morning,
Those were the days.
and that was an early night.
Yeah.
I love those days. Now I don't get to do
Now I maybe
shit
see him on a
anymore.
Sunday when we're mowing.
We'll wave at each other. Hi. No, but
You ruined my line, buddy. Right here. You're going this way. I'm going this way.
no, but she is being more relaxed now that he's a bit older. So hopefully I can get back to hanging out with my bud Keith and coming on podcasts and seeing old Chrissy Chaos.
Yep.
Well, there you go.
You heard it first here, folks. Hunter will be back more often.
Possibly. We'll see.
Yeah, it'll be another 40 episodes before he's on the next one, but still,
No way. When was the last one I was on?
it's Been a hot minute.
Yeah. It was before this change.
Yeah. Way before.
Yeah.
Oh
Way
yeah,
before.
this was a whole.
I think the last time he was on was with Jacob.
I about shit my pants when I walked in here with this new setup.
Yeah. Oh, Chris, do you want to tell our listeners about the new setup? Where they can go for 10% off?
Go to Tactical Walls and use code. What is it? Is it Tac 10?
No.
Boomstick?
So, these are actually by Tactical Walls. So go to tacticalwalls.com. They're the mod wall panels and use code BST10 for 10% off.
Backstreet Boys,
Anything.
baby.
Yeah. Just remember. Yeah. BST10. Wow. Thanks, man. That makes me not feel so good now.
Look how cool this wall is.
So
Don't you
not-
want one in your house?
Exactly. You
Go
don't need
ahead.
it for a YouTube background, just to awesomely display your walls in your office, your basement,
They
wherever
also
you
do
are.
You got a
Tools.
basement. You got a man cave. You want to?
They do tools so you can hang it in your garage.
Actually, you could. Yeah, technically.
Yeah,
Hang
that's
it anywhere.
lame though.
That's freaking
Get it
awesome.
for your guns. Take it in your man cave. Hang it up. Display what you got.
There
People
you go.
will appreciate it.
Yep. And just enter BST10, 10% off.
Backstreet Boys 10.
There you go.
It's easy to remember.
Anyway, I think we're going to call it a podcast. Hunter, it was good having you back on finally.
Yeah.
I've been begging this guy to come back on for like the last, I don't know.
4 months.
I'll be
Yeah.
back next week. Don't worry.
Yeah, sure you will.
Okay.
Jacob will actually be on next week, and we're going to talk about, because he's actually getting ready to have a baby too, and we're going to talk about some stuff.
Wait, so does that mean I'm uninvited to next week?
You're not uninvited.
I'm just not invited.
I guess we'll have
Alright.
4 people here next week.
I mean, we could probably fit 4 people around.
Oh,
here. I just
easy.
got to back the camera up a little bit.
Wouldn't feel right unless I at least fucked around with one thing.
Oh, there he goes, hitting the microphone. All right, check out tacticalwalls.com. And then Chris.
Remember, this is a YouTube podcast. Remember to like, subscribe, and tickle that bell. If you're listening on any other platform, such as Amazon, Apple Podcasts, or any of those other listening platforms, remember to follow us. And with that, everyone, have a good one.